Hello, I am Candice Davis, and this is the first episode of Secrets of the Moon. I am here as a energy forecaster, someone who's really sensitive and tuned in to the energy, and this is one of my dearest friends, astrologer Juliana Rossel.
Hello, friends. I'll be
So,
talking about the full moon today. And, in the future, we'll be talking about both the new moon and the full moon or any eclipse or weird things that are going on in the universe. So
yes,
hopefully, Candace and I can, you know, merge what we both do together and give you some tips.
right, because you are an astrologer expert, astrology expert, and I'm always asking you, what is going on with the moon? Why do I feel this way? When is it going to end? Or like what to expect. And so approaching us is the full moon in Scorpio. So tell me from astrology perspective, when is it going to happen and what does that mean?
So on the 12th of this month, so May 2025, we have a full moon. But just to remember, if you haven't heard this before, I'm going to say it. Before a full moon, about 3 days before, and then 3 days after the full moon is the full moon period. Excuse me. For some reason, I have an alarm going off. Um, so you have 3 days before and 3 days after. So that means you do want to be observing yourself way before that time. Some of us will feel it up to a week before. So just kind of tune in with yourself, see if you've been already feeling this way, even a week before the 12th of May. If it's already passed and you're watching it, same thing, like you might still be in it. There might be some residual. So yeah.
Okay, so feeling the full moon. And I can tell you, I feel the full moon about 3 days, 3 or 4 days before it comes on. But what does that mean to me to feel the full moon? So my mood can go crazy, my relationships can be off, I'll feel off, just what is happening. That's kind of the mystery of it to me. So with this Scorpio full moon coming up on Monday, what is it all about?
So when we look at a full moon, we also want to look at the sign, the zodiac sign that it's in. So this one is in Scorpio. So if we think about the characteristics of Scorpio, it may be intense. It may have something to do with transformation. It might have something to do with the deeper side of things. Like we might go a little bit deeper into our self mastery. We might feel the need to have a sense of control or want to manipulate a certain situation, again, having that control. So it's really trying to get us to let go, to not hold on so tight in some area of our life, to really feel those feelings if they are pretty intense. Maybe take a look at those, get a little deeper. So that would be more of that self reflection, self mastery piece. So you'll see a lot of Scorpion things play out. So if you are a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, this full moon will light this area up for you to take a look at something. And then for all of us, maybe we don't have a lot of Scorpio, but we're going to feel like we do have Scorpio for that time that it's in it. So this is a great time to kind of reflect on that sign.
Yeah.
But it's not just the Scorpio part. So we also want to look at what other planets are going on in the sky. So we can talk about that too.
Yeah. So the Scorpio aspect being a Scorpio full moon, I have Scorpio in my chart. And for me, what I have been feeling lately is this sense to dig a little deeper and understand my motivation a little bit more. Like, why did my husband bother me when he said that the other day? And for me, like, I either can tend to lash out and attack outwardly or inwardly. And I feel like lately with this energy of the moon, I'm wanting to attack more of my inward aspects. And I had a dream about it when we were talking about dreams lately. So that will come up. But I do like what you say with the energy. It's intense. it's transformation, and it's allowing you to let go of control of things that you're really not in control over.
Yeah, yeah. And the only person we could be looking at, instead of trying to do something outside of ourselves, like you said, go within, get deeper. What is my part in this? And you brought up the next piece is that we have a square in the sky. And this is, we will all in some way relate to this. Just communication is going to come up. So for us to take a look at what part have we played in this communication? Did we listen enough to what that person was saying, or were we just talking and trying to, again, like control or manipulate that conversation into what we needed it to be? So this could be very reflective, because Pluto, if some people are out there and know about the planets, Pluto is squaring Mercury. And Mercury is the messenger, it's the communication part. And Pluto is actually very Scorpion in nature. So that's going to really try to help us to grow in our communication right now. And if you're aware and you're wanting to see this as a growth opportunity, really take a look at how you communicate, right? You're
What if I
smiling.
don't
I know that you're probably thinking of something.
what if I don't want to? So I just throw out there. Yeah. So Pluto, the planet of transformation.
Mhm.
And when something is square, that does that mean that it's kind of butting up against the other aspect that it's square to?
Yeah, I like explaining it more like you're just walking down a road and then all of a sudden you come to a 90-degree angle, like a turn in the road. So that's a square. And so you can't really continue on the way that you've been going forward. So you got to make that turn. It's a little uncomfortable to turn, right? Because it doesn't flow as well. So it might be a little it's like it's testing us. It's having us to go through something that feels, ooh, this is not what I normally would do or want to do right now. It'd be easier if I kept going the way I've always gone, right? That's easy, right? You think it is, right? But for growth, we do need to make some of those turns. There was a really good word I wrote down. I might even come back to it if I can't. Oh, unpleasant. So it might feel unpleasant right now during this full moon. So maybe even think about just what have you felt the last few days? So was there an unpleasant moment and you're like, oh, yuck?
Yeah.
um, yeah, it feels uncomfortable to make these changes or to grow.
Hmm. Yeah, I wrote a poem about it called No Left Turns.
Okay.
So I'll just share with you sometime. And that's what it reminds me of. So Pluto is making a turn, a left turn because of
Yeah.
Mercury, which I think a lot of us are familiar with, like Mercury retrograde and like, Mercury retrograde. But Mercury is really the planet of communication, right? And it allows us to examine how we're communicating in our relationships and to ourselves and to others. But what also does that mean? Like, what else should we look forward to in this next week with the square and the moon related to Mercury?
Well, the biggest piece is just addressing your communication, but there's a couple other conjunctions in the sky that I would say would be a little bit more um, helpful. Like if you're going to be riding the wave and trying to work through this communication piece, what are some things that you could also use to help you? So there's a conjunction in the sky with this full moon. The sun is conjuncting Uranus. So Uranus is going to keep us on our toes. It's going to force us to be flexible. You can't really hold on with Uranus. So there's going to be some change in your life, and we have an opportunity to start initiating that change, or change just happens so that we do make those changes. So if you're not sure of what that change is, don't worry, something comes up. But if you have an idea, this is a great time to make some of those changes. Maybe it will bring more excitement into your life. So that's a very positive way to look at it versus, oh my gosh, this is unsettling, right?
Or maybe not, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I have to speak to that because the energy when I was meditating and tuning in for this show, I was like, what does the collective, what is the pulse of the energy of the masses of us right now? And I instantly felt anxious. When's the shoe gonna drop? What's gonna happen next? Oh my goodness. So there was this anticipatory feeling of change an anxiety around what if it's not good? Like, what if it's something that's going to affect my life? And it it was a little chaotic. So when you were talking about change, we're gonna have to turn, we're squaring, and this could be a growth opportunity. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, how I mean, how do you see it? How is it going in your life? Because I know for me, I'm not like a negative Nancy person. I like to have a very positive attitude about things, and yes, I can see hiccups in my own life. But I think everything's for my highest good. Even if I make a left turn and I fall in a pothole, well, I'm probably gonna have to be in that pothole for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Are you feeling it in your life that way?
I'm definitely feeling some examples of the Pluto energy. So Pluto, on top of it squaring right now, it actually went retrograde. So this would be, if you're watching this on the full moon, it's a week before the full moon, Pluto retrograded. So I got some weird dreams that I was like, what the heck? Why am I personally dreaming of something like this? Right? This is weird. So this could be like that deeper part of my psyche that's, trying to come up to tell me something. Maybe I'm analyzing my dreams. That might be a good thing to do. So that felt very uncomfortable waking up to that. Um, I feel like I almost yelled at my new dentist. This is where that communication piece, I was like, no, I want it my way. And I didn't like, I just threw respect out the window. I didn't even treat her like she deserved, right? I was like, no, I want it this way. So that control piece, like, I'm not even going to listen to you. I'm not doing this. This is not what I believe. And I was like coming home from it going, what did I do? And then when I was reflecting on Pluto squared Mercury, I'm like, this is what's going on. It was that intensity of feelings and emotions that just came over me. And I felt like a kid, like somebody was pushing me and I just pushed right back. And I was like, no, creating that boundary, like, this is not okay with me. So
Well,
I
that
definitely feel
could,
like,
yeah, a good thing, though. I think it's right. There's
I
the
know, but
growth
I could have
moment.
said it. I could have said it differently. I could have been, okay, I do really respect what you have to say, and I'm willing to listen to you instead of like, I have no time to listen to you.
And she's like, no Novocaine for you.
Exactly.
Don't
Exactly.
give her the
Pulling
fake
teeth,
stuff.
very Pluto.
Give her the
Pluto would
fake
be,
stuff.
you're
Yeah.
gonna feel your pain, lady. Yeah. Um, Anyways, so the Uranus piece I haven't quite felt, but the other thing you can do if you're not resonating with some of the stuff that's going on in the sky right now with a full moon, just take a look at friends and family. Like, listen to, like, if you have clients or people that you're working with, um, observe. So I have a client that contacted me. She's very anxious. She needs stuff for, like, there's things like that's very Uranus. That's the challenging part of Uranus, is that our emotions are going to be heightened more on like a nervous system anxious feeling versus the Pluto, which Pluto is like that intense, like even painful sometimes feeling.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, shifts and changes, not sure. We'll see. I kind of ride the wave, I would say,
Yeah.
naturally. Like every day feels like Uranus to me.
Yeah. That it's out there. So can I ask you what your dream was? Will you share?
A little personal.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. It was somebody I was interacting with in real life, and I feel like I've had a past life with this person. And I've even communicated that with this person like years ago. And now I'm finally working with them again. And I feel like I was like questioning myself, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I working with this person again? So then my dream was kind of reminding me of the reasons why I'm struggling with maybe working with this person again. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you have to dig a little deeper. So
It
there's
bubbled up.
that moon. Yeah. And part of my dream was I had to go back into my sleep time to kind of remember it. Like there was a basement, right? So it was a basement, was a little scary, and I could tell there were little minions, like little coconut minions down in the basement. And I was like wanting to open the door and let them all out. Like, why are they in the basement? They need to come up, out of the basement. Like it was really wanting to get them out of the basement. And my kids were in the dream and a neighbor kid. So I can tell with the moon, there will be little coconut minions in my life,
Yeah.
probably coming up soon, to be dealt with in the next few weeks.
So I get so minions, you mean the like what we see in that movie? Like little minions, the little guys with the little blue
Not the
suit.
yellow ones.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but they're like that. I can't remember what movie. If you know what movie, drop it down in the chat where there were these little coconuts and they had torches and they were like on an island. What was that?
Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
I know,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, drop it in the chat if you remember. But they were in my basement and in my dream, and I had to let them out. So,
So I think they and I keep on saying Uranus because I like to be polite. So Uranus. I feel like those minions represent that Uranus part of the chart because it's jumping around.
mhm.
It's like that movement. And then the basement is more the Scorpio Pluto part that's going on in the sky, right? Something
Yeah.
deep down in there needs to come out, and these little like restless little minions. That's just my
Yeah.
just see if
No,
I
well,
can relate here.
you are, yeah, you're the dream psychologist, so I had to put that out there. Okay, before we move on to like anything looking ahead, maybe, I want to just give some tips and a little exercise on how we can regulate our nervous system and maybe regulate our emotions. Is that okay?
I love it.
Just
Yeah.
we're gonna hear it. So, for those of you who are listening, you can or cannot close your eyes, whatever you feel appropriate and safe to do. But this exercise, it's very simple and it helps me to regulate when I am feeling out of control and I don't know what shoe is going to drop or when the ice is going to break. So I take a breath in through my nose and I blow out my mouth like I'm filling up a balloon with my lips like in a pucker. And just breathing that way for a little bit will put you into the parasympathetic mode. It helps to lower your blood pressure and gets you out of a fight, flight, or freeze mentality. Just that simple act of breathing in through the nose and allowing the air to go down into like your stomach or your sit bones if you're sitting in a chair, then blowing it out. And as you're exhaling, releasing all that you feel is stressing you out at the time. If you're okay with that inhale and exhale, you can just imagine a figure eight running through the middle of your body as you're breathing, and that can further harmonize the energies that you feel are out of balance. So, even though our astrology is here to support our evolutionary growth, it's here to support our personal growth. There's things that we can do to supplement and be mindful of our emotions and our interactions and really enable us to put our best self forward, even if that best self is yelling at your dentist. I yell at my dentist too. So I get it. It's no shame. Who likes a dentist anyways?
I
You
know.
pull you out. I just don't get
Thank
me
you.
started in my dentist trauma. That's for another time. Okay, so what can you leave us with, my master astrologer friend, with the secret of the moon? What is the big secret of the moon for this week up until the new moon, which we'll talk about later?
The only way is through.
Mm.
Yeah,
The
it's
only way
Scorpio.
is through.
Hmm.
Yeah, yes. And when you're going through it, allow yourself to have that space and that grace to love you through it all, right?
I agree.
And then, of course, if love ain't gonna do it, what's that one country song? If you're going through hell, keep on moving. Don't
Yeah.
look back.
Oh, yes.
That's the theme song. Maybe I don't know if I'll have the rights to play it, but yeah, look it up.
Mhm.
Travis Tritt. Who sang it? I don't
That
know.
sounds, yeah,
Was
something
it?
like that.
Something like that? Okay. Yeah, if I'm wrong, put it in the chat. Tell me who sang that song and what was the Coconut Minion movie about. Okay, let's move through it. Thank you so much, Juliana. Where can people find you if they want their own natal chart read? They want to learn more about how the moon is affecting them. Just real quick, I have Scorpio in my 12th house, which is also Pluto. So when we record the new moon show, I'm going to give everybody an update on how moving through this was for a Scorpio moon, 12th
Oh,
house
I love
Pluto
it.
for me.
Yeah, very nice. So you can reach me. I am on Instagram, Moon Diva Astrology. And then also my website is Herbal Jewels. So herbal and then jewels, like the name JULES.com.
Great. And you could find more of that linked below the bottom of this video and also to my website, risingfromwithin.me. I do personal energy healing sessions as well as spiritual coaching and give sessions and then have lovely conversations with people like you. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Move on through it. Bye bye.